I'm Colin Gallagher, and I'm the Chief EV Data Scientist at Hitachi Zero Carbon. So obviously data science is very topical at the moment. It's getting a huge amount of coverage when you look at stuff like ChatGPT. In terms of a definition of it, you'll find a few different definitions. I think in terms of what relates to our business, it's very much taking a data set, extracting value from it that you couldn't do manually or using kind of conventional methods, learning from it, and delivering that back to the customer. I think the key thing is that you're not just delivering back data, you're delivering back a result, an insight, a service. So my role at Hitachi Zero Carbon is centered around leading our data science team. Data science is very much at the heart of everything we do. So we take our customers' data and we analyze it, we learn from it, and we ensure that the solution we deliver to our customers is a bespoke fit for them. So data science is very much at the heart of that process. So within Zero Carbon, I would probably put what the data science team do into kind of three distinct buckets. So one of them would be that transition strategy, more of a consulting, bespoke analysis piece. The second one would be kind of productized data science. So a piece of data science IP integrated into one of our existing products to deliver value. So you won't see data science up front, but it will be in the product. The third one is on our insights and reporting. So it's a pretty important part. If you're an active customer, you're getting monthly reports coming through in terms of performance, how your fleet is doing, opportunities for improvement, cost implications, and it's also feeding into that. Just because there's a huge part of communicating the data that we don't want to just throw everything at somebody. It just has to be the key insights that tell the story of how performance is moving along each month. So one example is our fleet transition strategy work. And this is quite nice to use as an example because it's our first step typically in any engagement. So your kind of case would be, it's a fleet, it may have a few electric vehicles or it may have none, but they have that goal of moving towards full electrification. We use this piece of work, so it's kind of an analysis-driven piece of work to look at what that fleet does today, where they operate, what the sort of demands are on the fleet, so effectively trying to kind of fingerprint it, and take that as a key input into what the transition strategy should be. So when do they need to take key steps in terms of electrification? What infrastructure supports it? What's the minimal cost you can do it for? So the data science part, you can look at it two ways. So if you go without data science, there are some kind of general rules of thumb you can follow. The data science approach is trying to really hone in on what's the best possible approach. So what's optimal for you, whether it's least cost, least carbon, least business disruption, and there's a few different ways you can do it. When you take a kind of data-driven approach to smart charging, you can look ahead and you say, this is what the energy demand elsewhere on the site is going to be, so you can understand what capacity you have for charging. You can also forecast those charging needs in advance, and it allows you to do this really nice optimization that will minimize the cost for you on a daily basis. You kind of stack this up, and basically what you have from a managed service point of view is a cheaper way of charging your vehicles, so your operating costs come down. So like every walk of life today, we have so much data available to us, and it's really, really beneficial. I think from a fleet operator's point of view, you might often see this in the form of your telematics system, maybe a route scheduling system. I think the key thing here is that there's that added value you can still capture by putting this data to work. So often we have these data sets, we can view them, they're quite cool to look at, but they don't actually end up having as much impact as they should. So data science for me is about how do you package this up in a way that it brings out that insight without you having to dig into it day to day. So it's about kind of taking this data set and making it work for you.